Hey everyone, welcome back to Drawbridge Props and Armoury. My name is Levi Woods and I'm a professional prop builder and armorsmith. And today I'm going to take you on a journey because I started this project about a year ago, and what I wanted to do was create a super cool brass deer skull sculpture for the front of this Viking crown for a friend of mine. I learned a lot, so I think that watching this video you're probably going to learn a lot too. So sit back and enjoy. Now the first step in this process is to soften the brass. I'm going to heat it to a cherry red and then quench it in water. And this will just allow the metal to relax so I can move it around. I have this pitch bowl that I've had for years with this red pitch, and it was way too small for this project, but I started nonetheless. I went down, bought this giant wok, and got a bunch more pitch from another project that I had and melted it all together and thought, this is it. This is the way this is going to work. At first it was pretty great. I finally had enough mass and I was able to hit wherever I wanted on the piece, and it was pretty good, except the wok was digging into my wrist. And then, of course, I pushed it too far and I got a tiny, tiny little split, which you'll see is fine later. It's all becomes part of the piece. And of course, Grant joined me one night and was so helpful because he took those antlers, which I had broken the screws off in, and got those all fixed up and remounted. So I had a chance to really dive in and work on this little skull, which was such a passion project for me. And you can also see I've switched out the wok for a baking sheet, which was so much easier on me. The rim wasn't quite as tall, so it wasn't digging into my wrist nearly as badly. In different types of sculpture, there are so many different techniques. And when dealing with metal, we have to make a choice. Are we hitting the metal down, or are we raising that metal up from the underside? And it's a bit of back and forth. So it's interesting to tackle a project like this, which was so deep and so intricate. So I was working off the skull that was in front of me and constantly referencing it and trying to develop that shape as I worked the metal from the top. Soon became very apparent that I was fighting this project, and working off the skull was not the right approach. One of the times when I got it out of the pitch to anneal it, I decided I was gonna have to make a sculpture. I was gonna have to get some plasticine and just make a quick sculpt, and so that I was not trying to work off a skull, but actually work off of a sculpted model of the skull. And I thought, this is it. This is gonna make it way easier. And it did. I also did some work for it when it was out of the pitch. I'm so used to working on stuff kind of freeform, and in the pitch was great for the details, but for the overall shaping, it was kind of great to have it out and just put it on a sandbag, and I could flip it over and work on both sides. And that worked quite well for me for this little project, kind of as an intermediate. And then I got back into the pitch so that I could put in some details. Once I was finished with the overall shape, it was time to add a patina. If you guys are interested in checking out some of the products that I use in my videos, you can always use the links down below. I get a little kickback from Amazon if you purchase anything, so that's pretty awesome. It helps support the channel and helps make these videos. Anyways, Jax is one of those products that I use all the time, and I absolutely love it. Koreen was super helpful one night. She popped down to the shop and decided to cut out this little liner for me. So she's using a piece of very, very thin leather, and she's gonna wrap that around some foam so that it'll match Grant's head exactly. While she's doing that, I'm gonna cut out this skull with a little jeweler's saw. As you can see, I'm leaving a little bit of an edge because I'm gonna roll that over on one of my stakes in a few minutes. Rolling over the edge of this skull not only makes it super rigid, but it also makes it way less likely that there could be accidental injury from somebody wearing this crown. Well, it's all starting to come together now. Koreen is going to do a quick measurement and get this padding sewn together, and while she does that, I'm going to mount this skull. To mount this, I'm going to solder on some little pins that I can push through the crown and fold over, and then I'm going to build some spacers to space the skull off of the crown itself. To fill in the negative space next to the skull, I decided to stamp some runes into the brass itself. A couple of rivets and this will all be complete. Finally, Grant got to come over for a final fitting, and it fit him perfectly. Unlike me, where it was falling off, he was able to move around however he wanted.
By Wolves IPA. Driftwood Brewery, the only brewery for Vikings.